Hey everyone, Phil here with Houston Kiteboarding Pacific North Sports. We just got the new Florence wings in from Lift. This is one right here. So Nathan and John Florence joined the Lift team. If you don't know who they are, you've been living under a rock for the past 5 or so years. They're amazing surfers, kind of in the surfing realm. Funny story, we invented the foil mounting system maybe, I don't know, 7 years ago or so, and actually sent the Florence brothers some early ones. So this is a picture of John on one of his first foiling attempts ever with one of our original foil mounts. We made that with our bare hands. There in their shop, we sent it to them. Anyway, kind of cool. So they're on the Lift team, which is great. This is a big step for the industry. The foil thing has been this winging, wind-specific kind of thing, and we're starting to get into that surfing realm. Anybody who surf foils knows it just opens things up, gives you lots of options. The downwinding, the prone stuff, it's been amazing. So we're going to start to see a lot more and better gear from a lot of the foil manufacturers. Lift is definitely leading the way in this respect, and this Florence stuff, is definitely it. It's been amazing. We got on it a couple days ago. We got the stuff about a week early, and what they're calling this is deep water exploration wings. And what that means is, open swell, it's efficient, it's fast. A lot of times that swell is moving really fast, so you have to get on it. Once you're on it, big lifty wings are too slow. You want something that will, glide, make it easy to glide, nice and easy. So there's only 3 products in this lineup. You have the 110 Florence X, you have the 130 Florence X, and you have the tail, which is the 21 Florence X or 21X Florence, whatever. Little baby tail here. So the one we're most excited about, if you guys buy stuff from us and follow our stuff, we like big wings. The 130 is definitely kind of our jam. This is the 130X right here. And this is going to fit between the 150X, the normal 150X, and the 120 high aspect. 2 of the best-selling wings Lift has ever made, at least performance wings. They're amazing. A lot of guys in Texas, like the best guys, will surf the 120 high aspect prone, the paddle in. You can pump between waves and that kind of stuff. The 130X is going to be great for those guys, and we'll talk about that in a second. The 150 HAX is great for wing foiling. That's definitely probably the most popular wing Lift has ever made, is the 150X. It's just incredible. It's just there's a big jump between that wing and going down to the 120 high aspect. There's a big gap there. What they did with the 130, and you can see it, this is the 150 right here. Okay, this is the 130. The 150 is bigger. Look at the aspect ratio, right? So the 130 has a higher aspect ratio, and you can kind of see it if I'll line the holes up here. Look how much closer the wing is to the mast. See that? The 130 puts the mast a ton closer to that wing. When we got on it, the first thing we noticed was the turnability. It just, man, it's so dynamic, right? It feels more like a Surf V2 wing than a high aspect wing, which is amazing. And that's what you want when you're proning or wing foiling in the surf. That's what you want. You want that turnability. You want that efficiency for downwind. In the words of, Matt from Lift, the 130X is a quiver killer, right? If you're on the 150 right now, you can bump down to the 130 most days, and maybe get away with it as you get your skills. And then unlike the 150, you can use that 130X for proning as well. Or maybe you're on the 150 on the wing, bump down to the 130, and then you can use it for your prone stuff and your downwind stuff, right? It's just amazing. So the 110, so anyway, the 130 is going to be a thinner camber than the 150. The way I think about this wing is it's literally kind of a natural iteration down from the 150X. Think about it like that. Think about it as a wing right between the 150X and the 120 high aspect. It's right in the middle. And the only big change is that position. It's almost like the axis advanced plus fuselage, where it's moving that wing closer to the mast to give you that turnability. That's how you kind of define that 130X Florence wing. The 110 is kind of a funny one. So if you've been on the 110X wing, the one that they've had, the non-Florence 110, you know it's a fast wing. That's a big jump for me. Getting down to the 110, it's a fast wing. What they did with the Florence version of that wing is they actually increased the camber, which is the thickness here, right? So this is going to be a thicker wing than that 110. So the way to think about the Florence 110X is as a replacement to that 110 high aspect, the 110X. It's a little confusing with the names, but those of you who ride lift know the deal. If you have a 110 or you're trying to get down, you know, to the 110 size, this one's going to be a bit like not training wheels, but it's going to be easier just because of that camber. It's not going to be quite as fast, but still going to have that shift in the wing, you know, relative to the mast for that turnability. And then look at that aspect ratio, just boom, dude, nice and efficient in the water. So, I mean, you know, Bobby Deedon got on this 130 and he was freaking out. He was, you know, Bobby's excitable anyway. He was freaking out because of the turnability. It's just so good. It's rare that you can get something this high aspect, you know, and really crank and bank on the turns and have, you know, have that control to really throw things around. I'm pumped to get more time on these. I haven't had them on the e-foil yet. I'm a big e-foiler, so I want to get them out there and kind of see what it's all about. And then also on the foil drive, I got my board hooked up to the foil drive right here. Get some of the new wings on there and see if we can foil drive some of the swell out in the bay. So lastly, we have the Florence 21X rear wing. This is closest to the Glide series. You can see that flat profile on the back. You know, the Flow series, which is basically a carve with an extended fuselage, has been very popular lately. I love the Flow series for stuff, and I love the carve series on the e-foil. The Florence 21X Glide, real flat, tiny little wing. You can see how small that is. Not for the faint of heart. This is a slippery wing, so you know I maybe wouldn't recommend this to people right out of the gate. You know, if you're getting like a 110 Florence 110X, I'd say get the wing and use it with the rear wings you have. And then if you're looking to get into something, you know, more performance oriented, give the 21X a try. Yeah, this is a difficult wing. I found it to be very slippery. Those of you who have foiled with me, I'm not like some crazy expert or anything. This was arguably too small for me. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. The Flow series is maybe a better fit. You know, something a little bigger to start with, or something you already have to try these out. So my personal favorite out of all these, we like big wings. This 130X Florence wing is just, you know, I made an initial order for both stores. I called in the back and we tripled it. This wing is going to be the go-to for 2024, 2025. We're just going to sell a ton of them. It's awesome. You know, on the water, it's just incredible. You know, I've had a couple people on them, even people that don't, you know, ride in the lift ecosystem. It's glidey, it's efficient, and the turnability is fantastic, right? So the last thing we're going to talk about is the new bags. All the Florence stuff comes with the new bag. Similar to the other stuff, they finally put a little hanger on here, which is great. Neoprene to tuck the wingtips into. All this does is keep it inside so it's not poking out. Those of you who ride lift, it kind of pokes out the zipper sometimes on the old bags. And then it's sealed on both sides. So you have the nice outer part here, and then it's sealed, so if it's wet, it's not going to leak through, and then there's padding in between. And then kind of the same setup in the back with the wingtips there. So really, really nice bags. All these wings are the new high modulus carbon as well, so they're stiffer. I don't feel wings bend when I'm cranking on them, but there's guys out there that do. I'm like 185 pounds. We have guys that are 220 and they throw down, you know. They can feel these high aspect wings flex. You know, these are all going to be higher modulus carbon and stiffer for maximum performance, maximum efficiency. So anyway, we got all the best lift gear here at both stores. Give us a call or check us out online if we can help you out with anything. The number for the Houston store is 281-508-6485. Check us out online HoustonKiteboarding.com or PacificNorthSports.com. My name's Phil Midler. Thanks for watching.